All right, let's step into a world where art isn't just something you see, it's something you feel. A world just packed with passion, with chaos, and revolution, all channeled through the paintbrush of one single master, Eugène Delacroix.
So, if you got this image in your head of a 19th century artist, in a quiet, dusty studio, you can go ahead and forget that. That really wasn't his world. Because Eugène Delacroix wasn't just a painter.
No, he was more like a force of nature, a literal storm of emotion captured on canvas, where every single color and every single line just crackles with life.
To put it really simply, his art doesn't whisper, it burns. It absolutely demands your attention, and it feels like it was designed to set your imagination on fire.
So, born way back in 1798, Delacroix would eventually become the undisputed leader of French Romanticism. And you gotta understand, this was a revolutionary movement in its own right. It was all about championing raw passion and wild imagination over the cold, hard logic of the past.
So, that begs the question, how does a romantic paint history? Well, not as some calm, distant memory from a textbook. No way. Delacroix painted it like it was happening right now, like it was alive, and frankly, incredibly dangerous.
Take the year 1830. Revolution once again swept through the streets of Paris, and Delacroix didn't just document what was happening, he did something more. He captured the very soul of the uprising.
And this piece, wow, it just perfectly shows his whole approach. Take a look at Liberty leading the people. Right there in the center, you've got Liberty, this powerful symbolic figure charging forward with the French flag. But look around her. This isn't just an idea. It's a raw human event. You see citizens from every walk of life, fighting, falling, and getting back up again. The entire canvas just vibrates with smoke and chaos and this desperate sense of urgency.
But here's the thing. Delacroix's brush wasn't just for painting glory and victory. He was just as interested, maybe even more so, in the devastating human cost that comes with conflict.
I mean, look at the massacre at Chios. This painting is about a tragic event in the Greek War for independence. There is no heroic charge here. Instead, Delacroix makes us confront the victims. You're hit with this overwhelming emotional weight of suffering and this feeling of just dignified, heartbreaking hopelessness.
And all this really brings us to a fascinating question, one that Delacroix himself seemed obsessed with answering. How do you actually paint pure, unbridled chaos? His answer was the Death of Sardanapalus. And what's so incredible about this painting is the contrast. At the very center, you've got this Assyrian king who is completely calm. He almost looks bored as his entire world is being violently destroyed around him on his own orders. The whole scene is this whirlwind of destruction just bathed in these intense, violent shades of red that feel almost suffocating.
And that intense use of red? Well, that brings us right to the heart of Delacroix's revolution. It wasn't just about what he painted, but how he painted it. The man was creating a completely new artistic language.
So you have to get the context here. The art establishment of the day, we're talking neoclassicism, they believed that clear lines and logical composition, that was everything. Art was supposed to be about order. Well, Delacroix completely rejected that. For him, the key element was color. He believed color was the most direct path to emotion, to drama, to imagination. This was truly a battle for the soul of art.
And this belief he had in the power of color was only going to get stronger after a journey that would fundamentally change his art and, well, his life. He headed south into a whole new world of light.
The year was 1832. Delacroix traveled to North Africa, specifically Morocco and Algeria. And the light, the colors, the culture, it was an absolute revelation that would change his palette forever.
And you could see the change almost immediately. The violent historical drama that had really defined his early career, it started to give way to these scenes of quiet, almost sensual intimacy.
I mean, just take his painting, Women of Algiers in Their Apartment. All those clashing reds and dark shadows of war are gone. Instead, the whole room is just bathed in this warm, inviting light. The focus is on rich, luxurious fabrics and this quiet, mysterious atmosphere. This was a completely new side to his art, something deeply personal and sensual.
So, after this whole career spent challenging norms and exploring the very limits of emotion, what is Delacroix's legacy? What is his everlasting flame? His life spanned a period of just immense change. Born in 1798, he's already redefining art with works like Liberty in 1830. He has his vision totally transformed in North Africa in 32, and then passes away in Paris in 1863. leaving behind a complete revolution in art.
And throughout his life, he kept these amazing, detailed journals, and in them, we really find the core of his whole philosophy. He wasn't just making pictures. He believed with every fiber of his being that art must move the soul.
And that's exactly why his fire never faded. His radical use of color directly paved way for the Impressionists. Future masters like Renoir and even Van Gogh openly admired his courage. But maybe most importantly, he proved that art isn't about perfectly recreating reality, it's about conveying a feeling. And that's why, even today, every single one of his brushstrokes still pulses with raw energy. Because for Delacroix, the logic of the mind was secondary. In his world, on his canvas, feeling was absolutely everything.
Which leaves us with one final thought. We know Delacroix believed that art must move the soul. So after seeing the passion, the chaos, and the incredible beauty of his work, what does his art move in you?